This is Fritz Frivolous with continuous live coverage of the corner of Curious Lane and Just Because Boulevard, the epicenter of the alien invasion. And this just in, King Kong is fighting the Mobile Suit Gundam. And of course, all of this is happening amidst World War IV, making it pure pandemonium. If only Captain Planet were still alive to save us all. Dude, could you imagine? Hello, it's nice to meet you. I'm Fritz. I'm glad to see you arrived on time. Punctuality is always a good thing in our business. So, as you already know, I'm looking for an assistant to help me out here, get me coffee, Xerox documents, typing, etc. I haven't had a chance to look through your entire resume. I'm sure you're more than qualified. Here it is. Okay. Past employment? Check. Educational background? Check. Okay, skills. Let's see. Proficient in Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Okay, good. Licensed notary. Gourmet barista. Okay, great. Wait, there's more on the back here. Expert marksman. High-level proficiency in firearms, bow and arrow, knives, and hand-to-hand combat. 25 years expert tracking experience. Master level in Kung Fu, Karate, and Krav Maga? Mastery in psychological warfare? Okay, you know what? When can you start? Welcome back, everybody. This is Tom Case.
This is Will Stark.
Will, this question is a question you came up with.
Oh. I've already forgotten whatever it was.
Good, that was my plan.
Exactly.
No, this question is a question that you came up with, and I thought it was very interesting.
Okay.
And that question is, what is one skill you wish you had?
Oh, okay. Okay. Enter parameters, please.
So the parameters is, I envision this as like a Matrix style thing where you can be jacked into like a, like a computer program.
I know Kung Fu.
Exactly, where it may seem like you're having a lot of time in there learning this, but in reality, not that much time has passed. And once you're done, and you could take whatever, classes you need, but it can only be in this one specific area. You're not going to be able to be like, well, like if I, let's say you chose, like, you wanted to be an expert marksman with shooting a pistol. You can't be like, well, also then I'm going to be an expert in all weapons that are like guns and this and that. No, it's just going to be.
I will say there will be. So like, okay, if you become an expert in like shooting a pistol, you're probably going to do just fine with most weapons.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't be at master level, but it probably translates pretty well though.
For shooting the gun, yes. Yeah. But I'm talking about like, I will know everything about every gun. And I know no.
True.
It's just going to be that one skill you pick.
You're right. Okay, I see what you're saying. Any more parameters?
No. That would be.
Do you have any Fritz facts?
Fritz facts.
I don't have any Fritz facts on this.
I thought this would be a tough one.
Yeah, this one, I was thinking about that too, and I was like, skills are skills. I think everyone knows what they are, and you either have them or you don't.
Right.
But you can always get more skills, That's one cool thing about it is, even though we don't live in the Matrix.
Right. Or do we?
You never know. You know what I mean? That is true. Hey, I mean, you're starting to freak me out, man. No. But I mean, it just takes more time. In our real world.
And that's unfortunately, none of us have enough time in this life. But
that's where the problem lies.
I think I remember my thoughts when I came up with this question. I think at the time, and I think I still agree with myself, the skill or skills, depending on how you look at it, that I would want to have downloaded into my brain is the ability to speak multiple languages.
I don't know
how much you can get away with. Obviously, omni linguism would be cool if I could speak every language.
Yeah.
But if you're going to limit me to a number, I don't know. How do you feel about that? About
what do you mean?
It is my answer of I wish I could have downloaded the ability to speak all languages in my brain. Is that an acceptable answer, or is that is that too broad?
Your skill is linguistics, right?
You're exactly.
Learning languages.
Okay, there we go. So it does work. Yeah. So it would be I would want to be able to speak every language
because that could be very powerful, and that could be
very, very useful. Yeah.
Most likely, I would think in a government setting.
Yeah.
United Nations, things like that. Personal translator.
You would think I would have like a pragmatic reason for wanting this skill, but I don't. I just, I think growing up, I always kind of wanted to learn a second language and just never did. And I think there's a lot of people that, have that happen to them.
Yeah.
And I had opportunities to. Granted, I had a very troubled past, but like I had opportunities to, and I just never like capitalized on them. And now at my age now, it's not that I can't even now. It's that like I'm not willing to dedicate the time because my time is so precious now.
Yeah.
But like if I did have more time, I think I would feel motivated to learn at least a second language.
Yeah, and especially now as an adult, they say it's harder for adults to learn other languages than it is for children. It seems like that because I know, you see a lot of children with bilingual homes and they pick it up quick.
Exactly. And, I've been presented with the opportunity because of my kids' grandparents. One of their greatest regrets, they've told me, is that they never taught their kids or, their grandkid Spanish.
Yeah.
And I've been really motivating them like, hey, teach Liam Spanish. He's still a baby. Let's start now.
Yeah.
And like they're really into the idea. So I'm hoping that, my son will be able to speak languages that I can't. And I pick up a little bit here and there. And who knows, by the time it's done, maybe I can speak broken Spanish. But like, I love the idea that he has the opportunity to learn 2 languages.
Yeah.
And I wish that I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of the regrets me and my brother kind of have now is that, my mom is Korean. So,
yeah.
When we were younger, we did have the opportunity where we could have. And I remember little memories here and there that, where my mom would offer to teach, kind of like teach us. And me and my brother would be, back then when we were growing up, like the 80s and 90s.
You were resistant to it.
We kind of were resistant because we were like, well, we don't know anyone else who's Korean or speaks Korean or this or that, not thinking for the future, where now your circle is broadened.
Right.
And I do know people who do know Korean.
Right.
And I kind of wish I could converse with them and everything.
Yeah.
So.
And, honestly, since you bring up Korean, let's talk a little bit about Squid Game, how there was controversy is not the right word, but like people were talking about, and anyone who watches anime already knows about this phenomenon.
Yeah, I think that's.
But like when things get translated, you lose a lot of the cultural context because some words just don't translate right.
Yeah.
It happens with Spanish a lot too. And a lot of people were talking about that with Squid Game, which got really, really popular. And I watched it in the subtitles and I enjoyed it, but people were saying that even the subtitles didn't really translate some of the true meaning.
Full effect.
Exactly. You don't get the full effect. And like that would definitely be something that like with my omni-linguistics that I would be able to enjoy. I watch a lot, well, maybe not so much these days, but in my life I've watched a lot of anime. And I can like subs or dubs depending on, when it was made and who did it. But like subs are generally better and I wouldn't even need subtitles. I could just watch it in the original language. That'd be really nice. I wonder what that experience would be like.
I was just about to say, you would be able to fully enjoy knowing full well what the person was intended to say instead of reading the subtitles, which may be a little incorrect. And and that happens a lot because there are some movies that, when they're in Korean, we may watch with my mom, right?
Uh-huh.
And, English subtitles are on the bottom. Uh-huh. And so I'll say like, oh, he just said that? Like, I can't believe it. And my mom would kind of be like,
not really.
Yeah, she'll be like, yeah, I guess you can say he said that, but that's not really what he meant. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's so many nuances of like the words that they're using and the translation doesn't really cut it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and the thing is, we as Americans think about this in the context of like the English language, but we don't think about it in reverse. Like how, Hollywood makes the most successful movies in the world. They're seen worldwide. Like,
and then
what are
country.
Like what are the translations like? Obviously I don't know. I've never looked into it, but like how much is getting lost in translation that way too?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I have never thought about it in the other aspect because, a lot of other countries like to watch our movies. They consider them some of the best movies that are made.
Right.
And yet, if they're watching it with their native language subtitles or maybe it's dubbed, I wonder how much is getting lost in that translation.
Yeah, I do know like some movies. So like Marvel, we'll use Marvel for example. I know that they do more. What's the word I'm looking for? They take into context the culture when it comes to the jokes. How quippy Marvel movies are super quippy, right?
Exactly.
So one example that I know about is, do you remember in spoilers for Infinity War when Iron Man?
I hope you all. If anyone's listening, I really hope you all seen that.
Yeah, spoilers for Infinity War. When Tony is talking to, I think it's Ebony Maw, and he's talking shit, and he's like, "Hey, Squidward, planet's closed," or whatever. Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of places in the world don't have SpongeBob.
That's
they have no fucking idea what that means, right? So I know that they changed it a lot, and I remember one example in France. They changed him from saying "Hey, Squidward" to saying "Hey, Voldemort." Because they were
they know
culturally
that
aware of Harry Potter. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
True.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't think about not even just the actual like straight translation of one language to another, but they may not know our references from our culture.
Exactly.
So they would have to change that.
Exactly. And that's the thing is like, well, let's go back to Squid Game. Like I watched all of it. It was pretty good. I don't remember any particular like references to any of their pop culture or any of their like even culture. And it's probably weeded out because we as Americans wouldn't have context for it.
Yeah.
Like as an anime watcher, that shit happens all the time. But the thing is, a lot of times with anime subtitles, they don't give a fuck if you don't understand it. It's in there anyways.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you're lucky, there will be subtitles, which will then like pick a word out that you didn't understand and be like, this is what this reference is referring to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It happens
I don't watch a lot of anime, so I don't know.
Like, it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen a lot. So, like, you watch enough, you start picking up on things, and then later on when you're watching it with your friends who don't understand, you know, certain things about Japanese culture, like, they're going to be like, wait, what's happening? And we're like, oh, okay, let me pause it. Let me explain, like, these 3 concepts to you that you probably didn't know. But yeah, anyways, I would try and speak all languages just because it's something that's always interested me.
You know, let me ask you this on your theory if you were able to acquire that skill, right? And you recently recommended a movie to me called Arrival. And I watched it. Me and my wife watched it. We loved it. We actually thought it was really good.
I'm glad you guys
especially the well, I'm not gonna reveal it just in case if people also haven't seen that and who haven't seen Infinity War.
Just say spoils for Arrival.
Yeah, spoils for Arrival.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, there's a twist at the end where it has something to do with time, the perception of time. But most of the movie takes place where they're trying to communicate with these aliens.
Right.
And, you know, and they're using, you know, a totally different, you know, way of communication than we are used to. You know what I mean?
Just utterly alien.
Now, if you acquire that skill, do you think that this skill will enable you to even pick up and figure that out, like some alien?
Okay, so in the case of Arrival, no, because like Amy Adams was a master linguist, and like she was able to figure it out, but she wasn't able to inherently speak it.
Oh, okay. So,
that's what you mean.
Okay, wait. Is your skill that you can learn any language, or that you just already can speak and understand any language?
That I can speak and understand.
Oh, I thought you meant that you could just learn. Oh, okay.
No, if it was like, I could just learn any language, like, that would be, so it would be like the comprehend languages spell in Dungeons and Dragons.
That's a good way to put it. That's what I was picturing.
Well, no. See, the thing was when I posed this question, the skill part of the phrase is so important. This is a skill. It's not a magic power. This is something within the realm of human possibility.
Yes.
So it's like, is it possible for a human to know every single language? Technically, yes. Obviously, like you'd have to dedicate your life to it. In this case, you get matrix jacked. But
that's true.
But it's still like it is a skill.
Yeah, it is not like a magical power.
It's not like I could just touch a book and be like, I understand this language now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But what about you? What's your answer?
So, okay, my mind immediately was fractured in half.
Oh,
because there was 2 things that came into mind almost like at the same time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
One is because I love archery, right?
Okay, yes.
And I was thinking to myself, wouldn't that be so cool?
I want to be Hawkeye.
I would be, yes, right. Essentially, I would be
Sorry, I need to pause you here. What are your feelings about the hero Hawkeye? Do you like him a lot?
I do.
Okay.
I actually really like Hawkeye, and I have to tread very carefully here.
Oh, okay.
I really love Hawkeye.
Okay.
I used to really love the Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Okay, but they have kept portraying him in like ways that make me cringe. So if I'm gonna have to pick one, it's going to be Hawkeye.
Okay.
I like Hawkeye's. You know they have the different tips of the arrow. You know they're gonna have like ones that explode, or they're gonna have whatever. Yeah. You know, I don't like especially in the comics. I don't like the campiness of Green Arrow's like, oh, I'm gonna shoot an arrow at you that has a boxing glove at the end of it to knock you out.
Oh yeah,
you know what I
forgot
mean?
Green Arrow does stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And then also when the Arrow, the TV show came out, the first one, maybe 2 seasons were actually really good. And I was like, okay, that's cool. His bow looks cool. His skills look cool. Look pretty legit. You know what I mean? Like, but then all of a sudden, you know, it was like all about like, no, I need to do this alone. I don't want anyone else to get, you know, to be in peril other than myself.
And
I'm alone.
Got to be alone.
Yeah. And then in season, I think 3, it was like, oh, by the way, you're going to be an Arrow. My sister's going to be an Arrow. You're my best friend. You're going to be an Arrow. It was like everybody was like
everyone's an archer
team.
now?
Yeah, everyone was like on his team. I mean, well, maybe they weren't an archer, but they were at least on his team, and they knew his.
It was like the Bat family.
Yeah,
like everyone's like Batman. Like I have to be alone. Bitch, you have a whole family. What are you talking about?
It's like, you know what?
Like you can't stop picking up 13-year-olds and putting them in a suit.
Exactly. I understand that some of these people maybe like these characters. You know, like, I don't know, maybe people are fans of, I think her name is Arsenal, which is Oliver Queen's sister, right?
I don't know enough about
I know,
Arrow
but like,
know.
I'm just saying, no, it's just too, that's when it gets too out there for me.
Okay, for sure.
So,
have you seen the trailer for the new Hawkeye show coming out?
No, I remember you telling me I need to watch it. Okay. But I already know that's going to be great. Yeah, because I love Hawkeye. I love the way he is and everything.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I taking you off track.
No, that's
Go
fine.
Ahead.
But, you know, I thought it would be so cool. And then I thought, well, what would I really use that for? Right? So ultimately, my choice would be in technology. I would love to have skills. I don't even know how to properly say this.
Yeah, because I think you need to be more specific.
Yeah, I would.
Like computer skills? Like programming?
Yes.
Okay, coding and stuff.
Coding, programming.
You want to be an expert in computers.
Yes, exactly. Okay. I think that would be the more practical choice.
Sure. I mean,
but I also love that realm too. I don't know a lot about it, and I think that's what intrigues
God
me.
knows you'd probably invent a bot army that would make us famous overnight.
Oh, dude, see what I mean? Boom, right there. It's already helpful. You know, like that's what I'm saying though. You know, like if you and I were here right now talking about doing our podcast, and I'm like, hey, Will, watch me hit that cup in the other room with my arrow. Like, you know what I mean? Wow, whatever. You know,
I mean,
cool.
I'm sure you could turn that into a YouTube channel that would get you a lot of views, but I'm already picturing you as a like computer like savant. Like you've transcended to this other realm where I'm like, oh, did you do the thing for our podcast? He's like, podcast? I just made $1 million. I don't podcast anymore. I'm like, God damn it.
I know.
God damn it, Tom.
I know.
With your stupid powers.
I'd be like, well, our podcast is in China now. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But like, you're right. You know, it would just, to me, it was the more practical choice. And
it is. It's a very practical choice. And you could do just untold things with it. It's like countless things with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you are right. If I did choose archery, you know, I could probably make profit off that, but I would only want to do target. I wouldn't want to, you know, maybe have the government, like, we're going to need you on this assassination.
I'm sorry. The government's not going to hire you to be an archer. It's just not going to happen.
Probably not. Yeah. But because potentially it's a weapon. That's what the bow and arrow is.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
you're not going to go hunting with it?
Yeah, I wouldn't go hunting with it. I wouldn't want to. You know what I mean? That doesn't interest me. Yeah. But like you said with the YouTube channel, you know what I mean? I could be like, I could show all these things like, all right, trick shot, you know, go out in public, be like, hey, what do you want me to hit? Oh, you want me to hit that? Okay.
Right. Absolutely.
But no, the computer skills, I think that's where it's at.
I think it's a good choice.
But dude, could you imagine?
This just in, a new study suggests leaving an Apple Podcast review is very important for a newly created podcast. So please don't forget to leave an Apple Podcast review. In financial news, Patreon supporters are among the most appreciated in the podcast industry. You can support the DCYI team by heading over to patreon.com/dude could you imagine. This has been Fritz Frivolous, reminding you to like, comment, and subscribe. Will and Tom, back to you.
Imagine a world with no boundaries. A world where genres and universes blend together. Characters collide and storylines blur and become anew. Imagine no longer. This summer, feel the experience of a lifetime. 2 different movies, multiple characters interacting with one another in one coherent story. From critically acclaimed directors Will and Tom comes the blockbuster of the century. Cinema crossover movie madness. Rated R. Coming to a theater near you. And we're back.
Indeed.
So this was something interesting that came up actually between me and my brother-in-law, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to ask you this to get your view on it.
Okay.
And the question is, if you can cross 2 movies together, what would they be? And the parameters are...
I need parameters.
Yeah, parameters are, they have to be 2 different movies. It couldn't just be like, well, I'm going to mesh the sequels of this one movie together.
To one super movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why would you even do that?
Yeah, like, I know.
Now you have to sit for 6 hours.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then it could have same actors and actresses. It could have different actors and actresses.
Okay, all right.
But they have to be somewhat coherent. You can't be like, I'm going to mesh, Bram Stoker's Dracula with, Disney's Moana. Like it may not really, what are you going to
Okay, what's the goal here? Am I making a new movie?
So what you want to do is you would be making a new movie, or if you want to say using one movie and then crossing the other one to make a sequel, I'll accept that. But the original question was like, if you were to make one movie by meshing them together.
What do you mean mesh them together?
You know what? Let's strike that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not going to accept if you're going to make a sequel. No, it has to be you're taking 2 different movies and you're going to make one coherent movie.
Okay, out of them. But so let's say, what were the 2 you used? Bram Stoker's Dracula and Moana. But you said I couldn't use those.
You could, and if you do use those,
I have to make it be
you better make sure you explain a very coherent story of what it is.
Okay.
This new movie with these 2 that you meshed together is.
So when you say mesh the movies, am I taking these characters and putting them in the same world, or am I I'm throwing ideas out there. We'll take Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and oh my goodness, I'm trying to think of give me a movie, just any movie. See, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awake?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Give me a movie I've seen.
What movie you've seen? Let's see.
Hey man, I gave you a whole bunch of movies to watch. Spirited Away. Okay. So if I were this is actually perfect. What if I were to recreate the movie Scott Pilgrim, but do it animated in the Spirited Away style? Is that acceptable?
As long as characters from both movie are in it.
Okay, so you do want me... Yes, the characters have to come together.
Yes.
Fuck!
Mm-hmm.
God damn it,
Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, I hope you have one. Yeah, you have one?
I actually had 2 that came into mind.
Let's hear about it.
And I'm going to go with my least popular answer in my head. Because I always thought it would be really funny when I first saw this... when I first saw the movie John Wick. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yes.
Keanu Reeves. Okay. Yes. Awesome movie, right? Yeah. If you want action and you want adrenaline, you watch John Wick.
I only saw the first one and I love it. Yeah.
The other 2 I still love. And I'm ready to watch, I think, part 4, which also is going to come out with Matrix 4, I think, in December.
Yeah, okay.
I think even on the same day. Okay. It's going to be the day of Keanu. That's what it is, man.
For sure.
And anyways, I in my head when I said that, I heard him from Bill and Ted going like, whoa.
Yeah, seriously.
No, but so my thought was when I first saw John Wick, I thought it was awesome. And then I don't remember why I watched it, but I rewatched this older movie that I really love called Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
Oh, you're familiar with that too?
Yes.
Okay. I always thought after I saw those, like, wouldn't that be funny if those 2 movies somehow crossed, right? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking like, because John Wick is going after these like, I guess Russian mob members, right?
Yeah.
We'll use John Wick 1 for more of an example, right? He's going after these people because of what they did to him. And the Boondock Saints, right? They're like, I guess you could call them vigilantes a little bit. Like they kind of go off for the...
I barely remember that movie.
Yeah, so like, but they kind of do the same thing, but they're usually based in their own little world, right?
Yeah.
So what I was thinking would be kind of cool is if somehow, because I don't see the Boondock Saints really traveling outside their area of like,
Ireland.
Work.
Is it Ireland?
No, I think they were in like...
Do they come to the States?
Yeah,
they're Irish though.
They're Irish, but they come to the States.
They're like in New York.
I think it's New York.
Okay.
And so I can see John Wick. Oh wait, doesn't John Wick take place in New York?
Perfect.
Yeah. So
okay, I understand your question now. I did not understand your question before.
Oh, okay.
What you're actually asking me is like if you took 2 movies and they had a crossover.
Yeah,
You're looking for a universe crossover.
A new movie, but with both characters from both other movies
existing in the same universe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that's called a crossover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, crossover. Yeah. So
because you said a mashup, and that's a different thing.
Oh, did I not say?
You never said crossover. You said mashup.
I thought I said if you could cross two movies together.
I think you said mashup. I'm pretty.
Well, let's rewind and go back. No, just
crossover. Okay, gotcha.
That'd be funny. I'm going to rewind. When I edit this, I'm going to rewind. And the question is, if you can cross two movies together, what would they be? Cross two movies together. Cross. I just thought it would be cool because then you would have both people probably, the Boondock Saints and John Wick going after the same people.
Okay. I was like, maybe they're going after each other.
Well, they would probably
start
cross
like that.
Paths and think that the other is going out like that because
it's like every superhero crossover.
Yeah.
At first they fight each other and then they realize no, we're on the same side.
Yeah. John Wick brings the action. The Boondock Saints brings the comedy because John Wick, he's a highly trained his assassin. You know what I mean? Like he knows what he's doing. The Boondock Saints, they're not like traditionally
they're just fucking ridiculously crazy.
Yeah,
they're just badass.
They're crazy and they're badass.
Yeah.
They don't really have formal training.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that would just be hilarious.
The banter would be really good.
Oh my god, the banter would be so good. I would love watch. I
could see that. Like I would definitely if I heard it I don't know what you call this movie, but if it was like John Wick versus the Boondock Saints. If I heard about that, I'd be like, well, yes, I'm going to go see it because that's fucking wild.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what you would call that movie.
Yeah. But I'm like Wick Saints.
The Saints Wick.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. That would be weird.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah. They would, this is another good opportunity. Please, anyone.
Hey, name our movies.
Yeah, name the movies, okay?
Okay. All right, what's your second one?
My second one.
I still haven't thought of one.
I know. Well, because, I'm entrancing you with
you really are.
With my ideas. The second one actually is something that I wish they would have done from the beginning of when I've seen both of these franchises. I just thought of mine, but go ahead.
Oh. Yeah.
And I was thinking one of the franchises actually did I don't want to call it a crossover, but they had a little Easter egg in there. It was in Star Trek.
Okay.
And in Star Trek, when the Enterprise, or I think it was the Enterprise gets destroyed, and in the rubble, or maybe it was another ship, I think, that the Enterprise was going to. In the rubble, though, in space, if you look closely, you can see R2-D2 floating in space. And I always thought what would be cool is if it was Star Trek having to go explore, because they get usually it has something an emergency beacon or something that they get a hold of and they want to go investigate.
Yeah.
But they finally enter the area of the universe that has where the Star Wars and all that's going on.
Okay, so here's a quick question.
Yeah.
Because Star Trek they're exploring space.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure how into astronomy or just kind of the structures of space you are, but how aware are you about the differences in the vastness of space between interstellar and intergalactic travel?
I mean, I know they're vast.
So you're cognitive of how far other stars are away from us, right?
Yeah.
And then that galaxies, another galaxy is...
Oh, yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm aware of the distances between,
Yeah, okay. So here's my question about Star Trek. Does Star Trek do intergalactic travel, or is it interstellar only? Because I feel, in my head, I'm thinking it's only interstellar.
So they can do both after they had the discovery of, wormholes.
So they can intergalactic travel in Star Trek? Mm-hmm. They go to different galaxies.
Yeah, not always on purpose, but it has happened.
Jeez.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So,
I didn't know that.
So
Star Wars, I know for sure, is only interstellar.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying it has to be Star Trek that goes.
Okay, so Star Trek accidentally wormholes into.
I was gonna say that may be a better thing, and then a stupid emergency beacon they hear or something pick up on their senses. That's better. They hit a wormhole.
Yeah, because there's no. I'm sorry, there's no amount of technology on Earth that maybe I'm just speaking out of my ass and I don't actually know. But as far as I understand it, the idea of picking up a beacon from another galaxy,
that would be
it's just not possible.
Unlikely. Yeah.
The beacon you're getting is probably 200 million years old.
Yeah, so I like the whole they didn't know there was a wormhole there and they get
get sucked into the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, exactly. They get sucked into the galaxy far, far away.
Okay, for sure.
And I just always thought that would be really interesting to see how members of Starfleet would interact with some of
Jedi.
these characters, either Jedi or Sith.
So there is a little bit of a precedent for kind of what you're talking about because, oh man, I'm going to get my Star Wars lore fucked up right now, but I'm going to do my best. Mm-hmm. So before the sequels, which suck, and to me they don't exist, there was the extended universe, which got wiped out by Disney, but I don't fucking care. It exists to me, damn it.
Yeah.
And it was very extensive, and there's comics and there's books and all this other stuff. But I think in the comics and the books, Mace Windu, he at some point has a vision of a future where the galaxy is getting taken over by this bizarre alien race that no one's ever seen before. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to fuck up their name, but it's something like the Usong Vang or something like that. I know I'm saying it wrong, but it's something like that it sounds like. Anyways, that does end up coming to pass, but not till like way after Luke's dead. I think Luke's grandchildren at this point. And they do invade, and it ends up they are aliens from a different galaxy. And it is because they are from a different galaxy, though, that they end up finding out that the Force is actually galaxy-centric. So entities from different galaxies cannot use the Force, cannot feel the Force, cannot interact with the Force in almost any way.
So they're not even affected by the Force?
Yeah, so you can't mind whatever them.
You can't
nothing
even
like that.
telekinetically push them?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think you probably can do that, but the Force, it's not part of them the way it is part of everything else in the galaxy. So the fact that the Force exists in Star Wars but not in Star Trek does actually make sense if you take the extended universe of Star Wars in account.
Okay, so what you're saying... Okay, so... I have a question on that then. Yeah. If I don't know if you do know this or not.
I might not.
But if someone who can manipulate the Force goes outside of the galaxy, will they no longer be able to do that?
I think there's no Force outside of the galaxy either.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's why, again, I think it would be more interesting that Star Trek...
goes there.
It goes the Enterprise goes there.
Okay.
Because, if somebody from Star Wars or whatever, you mean, and they can't use what they're for, it's like, what's the point?
I swear on my Jedi. This person's crazy.
Yeah, I know, dude. You can hear Data be like, that is not logical. I do not see you. You know what I mean? Or something like that. He's going to be
okay,
what?
So your movie definitely has to have Data meet C-3PO, right?
Oh,
it has to.
Yes.
That has to happen.
That was my point that I wanted to bring up too. Was this is such those things where you wanted to, when you have Marvel versus DC and stuff, you want to know Superman versus Hulk, who's gonna, who would be the strongest and all this kind of stuff. Yes, you would have to have people especially all the droids that are in.
Actually,
Star Wars,
I just thought Data and C-3PO, not even cool. Data and R2-D2.
Yeah,
and Data just automatically understands everything he's saying and just talks about it. That'd be great.
That would be awesome, dude. They would go walking. He would give a tour of the Enterprise to R2-D2, and they would have amazing conversations.
Yes.
That when you watch the movie,
you only get one side of.
Yeah, you only know because of Data. It's funny you called him Data. Yeah. There's actually a whole episode made off of where it was when Dr. Beverly Crusher got off of the ship for a while. Gates McFadden is the actress's name, and then they had Dr. Pulaski for one season, right?
Okay.
And she kept calling him Data in one of the things, and it's funny because he corrects her.
Well, yeah, the funny thing is Data in this context is a name, but it's also a word, and it is pronounced both ways.
Exactly, yeah. And she goes, and that's what she says. She's all, well,
but in this context, it's a name.
Yeah,
so
she says that though. She's like, well, Data and Data mean the same thing. What's the difference? And he goes, one is my name, the other is not.
Oh,
that, and it was such a burn.
I love that. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay,
but yeah, that would be. I think if somehow someday.
Here's the thing: everyone would watch it, and no one would be happy. Because Star Trek and Star Wars fans are the two nitpickiest fans on Earth.
Okay, I see that.
You and me would. Well, okay, you would probably enjoy it.
I would love both.
Honestly, it's such a silly idea that I would go in and I'd probably enjoy it too. But I know there's just millions of fans that would tear it to shreds.
Yeah,
but it would be fun,
and it would be hard, to come up with who would be then the actual enemy? You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe the Borg follow the Enterprise in this wormhole, and now the Borg
are trying to take over the galaxy.
I
love this idea. It's almost like you can't do it all in one movie.
Yeah, right. And you have like the Sith trying to maybe team up with the Borg, but then there's like I don't know how that would work. I don't know.
No, the Sith and the Borg wouldn't be able to, because the Sith are about hyper individualism. While the Borg are about assimilation. Yeah.
So I think they would try to assimilate the Empire.
Yeah.
So then you would have this. Wow, you would maybe have this weird team.
What if the Borg got on the Emperor or like infected the Emperor, but then the Emperor's will was too strong and he took over the Borg?
Oh,
so now the Emperor is the Borg.
Man, would that be able to have the Borg use the Force?
Yes,
because they're a hive mind.
Right.
Wow, we just made. Oh my god, dude. That's $100 billion idea right there, man.
TM. You can't take this from us.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to pay us first.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready for my idea, which is way less thought out?
I am very interested in your idea.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm sure you're very aware that I'm a huge fan of, I think it's the 2015 version of Dredd, Judge Dredd.
Oh, yeah.
With Carl Urban.
You're the one who turned me onto that one. I liked it.
And I think her name is Elizabeth Thrillby. I think that's her name for his sidekick. The actress's name.
Oh yeah. I don't know her name.
That movie is, to me, fucking phenomenal. A great sci-fi movie that really brings the dystopic future of Dredd to life.
And it's Carl Urban.
Carl Urban fucking kills it, dude. He never takes the helmet off, which I think is such a cool move. Like, because he becomes Dredd.
Yeah.
And also what's cool is like you definitely get a view of like this, because it's the mega city, right?
Yeah.
And you get the view of how big the city is, but the movie takes place in one fucking building. And it's just this intense
that's right.
story by story. He's taking out these criminals trying to get to the mob leader. And like, not only is it just a single building, but it's like a slum building that no one fucking cares about. But he does, because he's a judge. Yeah. And he's there to do his job. And shit just gets out of hand. And of course, his sidekick, it's her first day on the job. Okay, I'm gushing about this movie. Anyways, I love this movie.
Yes.
And I was like,
everyone should see
so
this.
It was the first movie that popped in my head. I'm like, Judge, or Dredd. I love Dredd. Maybe I can mesh it with something. And then I thought, what if we meshed Dredd with Mad Max Fury Road?
Oh, man.
And so for me, it's like somehow Dredd gets dropped off in the middle of fucking, nowhere. And it's maybe, you could totally share these worlds. Like, in one part of the world, there's mega cities that are surviving, and outside of the wasteland, and on the other side of the country, it's nothing but wasteland, right? So maybe Dredd gets dropped off in the middle of the wasteland, and he's trying to survive, and his lawful ways just keep getting him in trouble. Like deeper and deeper in trouble.
In that world, there is no law. I guess there is some
I am the law.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he's going to try and bring his mega city law to the wastelands. And maybe maybe it doesn't get stuck out there. Maybe they're like, hey, we finally got mega city under control. But the wasteland warriors are causing us supply line issues.
Yeah,
we're sending out the judges to lay down the law in the West. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would be a good
and
plot.
And so it's
right
like Dredd Rangers out there. Instead of judges, they're out there like sheriffs.
Man, could you imagine a little bit of a uniform tweak for that? Because now they're in the desert, so it would be probably a full face mask because of sandstorms.
Sure,
and they need to breathe well enough. And stay
absolutely.
Cool. And they're probably going to be more camouflage. It probably wouldn't be the traditional black and red that he has.
Yeah, and that would all be cool. I like that idea, but I send him out there, and then of course we could have Max.
That's what I was going to say. So would he?
So Max doesn't talk a lot. The thing about Mad Max is he mad and he's imagining all this stuff, or is everyone else mad and he's stuck in a mad world? That's kind of the whole thing with Mad Max. In this case, it's very obviously revealed that Mad Max isn't the one who's mad. This stuff is real because Dredd's seeing it too now. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe that's how it starts. Is Dredd gets he gets deployed out there, and one of the first people he runs into is Max getting fucking enslaved by some people. Right?
Yeah.
He immediately breaks him free, and then the two of them are just duo tag teaming. Whatever the goal ends up being,
So you don't see Mad Max maybe kind of, because I see Mad Max as he's the loner kind of no rules, he's just surviving.
Yeah,
and I would think he would
Dredd is
Dredd.
I'm bringing you in.
Yeah, I could see he misconstrues construes Dredd
Yeah.
just as much
I
as
love
Dredd
that,
doesn't
yeah.
understand Mad Max.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they probably would fight right off the bat. They might even end up fighting for most of the movie until they finally get that common goal and realize whatever it is.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
really
No,
need to
I like
stop.
that. So like maybe he deploys and like maybe there's like a base of operations for the judges or whatever. And so he's out doing his patrol, and he runs into Max stealing supplies from their base.
Yeah.
And he immediately wants to jail him up. And but then like whatever Ravagers are out there, see the base is like the prime place to raid. And next thing you know, the judges are fighting Ravagers, Mad Max is helping, and then they're going from there.
Okay, the two things about those movies that I really kind of liked were the weaponry.
Yeah.
How do you think? What did you call them? Ravagers?
Yeah.
How do you think Ravager weaponry will hold up against Dredd weaponry?
I think Dredd is like his guns are more powerful and like all his stuff's more powerful, but he has limited supply.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
True, because now he's in their
he's in their world. You know what I mean? And they got all the people and all the supplies that they've built up over decades and decades. And this one base maybe only it's limited supply, so they can only hold out for so long.
The Dredd's weapons accuracy is what's going to save them.
Yeah,
because you need to be accurate if you don't want to be missing with your bullets.
No, definitely. Yeah. He's got to make every shot count. But
dang, that would be an awesome one too, man. Yeah. We got to make these movies.
Yeah, we do.
And we're gonna start a movie company. It's gonna be the DCYI Cinema. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever we're gonna call it.
The DCYI Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. Okay, so here's gonna be a little challenge to everyone listening. If you can think of a name for my Star Trek / Star Wars movie, please, email us, leave a comment on YouTube, wherever you can. And if you could think of a name for Will's Dredd / Mad Max movie.
Yeah, please let me know.
Dredd to the max.
I like that.
That could be something. But dude, could you imagine?
Quickfire Queries.
All right, welcome everybody to Quickfire Queries. We're going to explain this to you here. This is a new segment we're debuting here on this episode. And basically what happens is we're going to ask a question and both of us get 5 seconds to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
So we also get, like, let's say if we only have 3 Quickfire Queries, we only get 1 ceasefire, meaning that if the other person who's answering says some answer that the other one wants more explanation to, we'll call a ceasefire.
Yeah, so we have a mechanism called a ceasefire where we can cease. Sorry, what you said was so ridiculous, I need an explanation. So I'm calling it a ceasefire.
Yeah, that's a better way.
And then when we're done, we commence fire and back to the rapid questions. We're hoping to have 3 to 5 of these every time we do this.
Exactly. And if we have 3 questions, we'll only have 1 ceasefire each. If we have 5 questions, we'll only have 2 ceasefires each.
Okay. I'm into it.
You ready, Will?
I'm ready.
All right. First question. What is your favorite movie?
Oh, Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, Fellowship of the Ring?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
favorite movie of all time.
You made it. Okay.
What about you?
Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah, you've told me that.
I love
that's a great movie. I don't really like mob movies, but I do like that movie.
What is your favorite color?
Green. What is your favorite color?
Yellow.
What?
Are you calling?
Yeah, ceasefire. Excuse me?
What do you mean? Yellow.
I don't know if I've ever heard anyone give that answer. Okay, when did that happen?
You know what's so weird? My earliest memories of yellow were, I don't remember why yellow ended up my favorite color, but I just remember always talking to when I was really young, and if we were in the car with my mom and dad or whoever, me and my brother, back in the day, Geo Metros were a popular car.
Yes,
you know what a Geo Metro is?
I know what a Metro is, yeah.
They were like a small compact economy car, right?
Yeah.
That's why they were so popular, because they were cheap.
They're fucking death traps is what they are.
Yeah, that's true too. But as a kid, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But they would come in very vibrant colors, right?
Okay.
And one of them was yellow.
Okay.
And I just thought it looked like the coolest thing. I think because it reminded me of... there was a game I think called it was like an RC game, like you controlled a remote control car,
right? But
it was a video game, right? And they reminded me of the shape of those, right? And
so you liked the car, and then you saw the color, and that was your favorite color.
And it was so bright, yeah. And I used to always tell my mom,
what kind of yellow was it?
It was a bright
yellow, a mustard yellow, like a bright sun yellow, like a
bright sun yellow,
like sunflower. yellow.
Yeah, like a sunflower
Okay,
yellow. Yeah.
interesting.
And now I like all shades of yellow, mustard yellows and all that. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's just so I like that it's so vibrant.
Yeah.
But you can use it as a lot of like a good accent color to everything. I always thought.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I think you can. And that's why I think it's not a lot of people's favorite color.
Oh, really?
I think people like it.
Yeah.
But like you are the first person in my life who's ever answered yellow to that
Oh,
question.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a question. Do you know anybody who likes yellow? Like who answers that?
Yeah, you know what? I don't. Not that I could think of. The most common answers I hear are red and blue.
Yeah, red and blue are big ones. All right, commence fire.
Okay. Okay. And the third one actually comes from a listener, Lyle McCarnes.
Oh, okay.
And they write, dudes, could you imagine if Tom was a good friend and didn't out Will's family in mortal danger literally every episode? They continue on to say, love the pod. Very entertaining. Keep on imagining.
Thank you for the question. And the answer is no, I can't imagine it because it is a constant issue in my life at this point. What about you, Tom? Can you imagine not trying to get my family killed?
You know what?
To be fair, you haven't endangered my family this episode.
I did. You know what? And it was very hard. So I'm going to say I can imagine it, but it's probably going to be highly unlikely. We'll probably find some way somehow to, in this movie, Will, you have to cross these two movies over or your family
will die.
Yeah.
You should just add that to every question. And if you don't, your family dies. I'm like, fuck, God damn it. Of course.
I know. That's so funny. But that was Quickfire Queries.
I'm walking here.
And now, let's join Will and Tom with the traffic report.
And it's Will and Tom with the traffic report. Will, we actually had a listener on YouTube comment on the last episode, Son of RoboCop.
Oh, right. That
and it was Zachariah Scouton.
Thank you, Zachariah.
Thank you, Zachariah. I really liked what he wrote here. He says, I'm surprised you didn't reference the movie Chappie or iRobot. They would have been great talking points for the RoboCop portion. Like, would it be an Asimov's 3 laws of robotics thing?
I see. Okay, so I haven't seen Chappie. I have seen iRobot 1,000 years ago when I was but a wee lad. So I don't really remember that well. As for Asimov's laws of robotics, I think the reason our minds didn't go there was because we were actually talking about like a cyborg. So we were I remember we were kind of really focused on the organic part.
Yeah.
But what about the organic part?
Parts, yeah.
And so I didn't even think about the fact that, the robotics, Asimov's laws kind of do or could apply, but yeah.
Same thing with...
By the way, good suggestion and good insight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Same thing with Chappie, too, because Chappie's a full-on robot.
Right.
I really like that movie because I really do like the South African accents that they have in there.
Right.
And one of my favorite South African bands, the only band actually that I know from there, D Antwoord, is in it. They actually play the man and woman that take Chappie over.
I can think of only one other South African band, and that's a band called Seether.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
They had a few radio hits, but anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, I love the part where he's trying to make Chappie into like a bad robot because they're like gangsta people, right? They want to do stuff. So he wants Chappie to toughen up, and Chappie's like, he's all, do you want to be cool, Chappie? Or do you want to, he's like, or do you want to do this and that? And Chappie answers like, I want to be cool, daddy. Like the way he says,
God. No,
I just love it. Yeah,
it's
you
hilarious.
must see this movie.
Oh, boy.
Zachariah also adds on here, he says, also turns out that there is a series on FX about the last man on Earth. It's called Y, the Last Man, assuming Y is for the Y chromosome.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I've never seen that, but now I'm kind of like, man, maybe I should watch it.
If you go watch it, let me know about it. I'm probably never going to get to it.
Yeah, just to kind of see, the kind of things we imagine. What if, this people making this TV show did the same thing?
Yeah, maybe.
And if you've been listening recently in the last, maybe 3 or 4 episodes on Spotify, you may have seen some polls and questions that are posted on there. One of the questions was, how would you survive a zombie apocalypse? And that was for episode 34, Dead Man's Party, No Kids Allowed.
Okay, so they're pertinent to the episode. Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always try to make them pertinent to the episode. We actually had 2 responses to that one. One from Sycamore Girl.
Okay, thank you, Sycamore Girl.
And Sycamore Girl writes, I would get a fire truck. Yeah. High power water blasting hoses, mobility, and a literal zombie squashing. Also, it's easy to make it look super badass, which I do think that's true.
Absolutely.
That would look really
Fire
badass.
engine is one of the coolest vehicles we've ever invented.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to keep that sucker supplied with water.
Exactly. And the gas, too, to drive around.
Oh, yeah,
You
and
know
all
what I mean?
gas goes bad in a month or two.
Yeah. Is it that quickly?
It's within 2 months.
I didn't know it was that quickly.
It's that quick.
And then we have PJ Awesome Sauce.
Thank you, PJ Awesome Sauce.
PJ Awesome Sauce wrote, move to a place near the ocean, maybe like a warmer weathered beach, low populated area, get supplies and load it up in a larger building and have a ladder leading to a second story that I can retract. That actually is a pretty good
the retractable ladder.
Yeah, because like zombies wouldn't be able to
climb
up. And then we also have one for episode 36, the last one, Son of RoboCop.
Okay.
Or I don't know if that was the last one. That might be 2 episodes ago from this one.
Yeah, I think it is 2 episodes ago.
From Son of RoboCop. And the question was, what would you do if you were the last man / woman on Earth? And we had William answer.
Not me.
Yeah, not our
A different William.
Yeah, different William. And they answered, sleep, because I would be bored.
Okay. Thank you, William.
But hey, you know what? I know our William, you would love to sleep if you could.
God knows I would. Yeah. And in our scenario, I would never sleep because they'd be just constantly draining me.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But we always love to hear from you guys. So if you can, please leave a comment, subscribe, and like.
And that is all we have for you tonight. We will continue to bring you up-to-date coverage as new imaginings develop. Please don't forget, you could join our Patreon at patreon.com/dude-could-you-imagine. Another way to support our podcast is by leaving an Apple Podcast review. You can subscribe to us on Instagram at dude_could-you-imagine, on Twitter at DCYimagine, and on our YouTube channel where you can leave a like and a comment. If you would like to contact us with what you are imagining, you can email us at dudecouldyoumagine@gmail.com. This has been Fritz Frivolous, and from all of us here at Dude Could You Imagine, keep on imagining.
Two different movies. It couldn't just be like, well, I'm going to mesh the sequels of this one movie together. Mesh, 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 mesh.